friends, we are officially 2 weeks in to the new year. And you know, there's just something about the new year that, and with just new starts in general, it just makes you feel like we're going to begin this again. We're going to be better this time. This is like a fresh start. I don't know if anyone who's had a lot of kids has felt like this with kids. Like each baby you have, you're like, this time we're going to even be better parents, you know? And you know, so there's this excitement with the new year. There's an excitement in new beginnings. And, but sometimes those new beginnings come, like a new year comes, and life may not feel like a fresh start at that time. At least that's how it's been for me this year. This year's start to the new year has felt so radically different than last year's start, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I wanted to share just some of my life that's been going on. I've been meaning to make several videos before this, and I'm still going to make some of these videos that I have made notes from different things that have happened, but I keep running out of storage, so I'm going to take care of that soon. But anyways, but I really wanted to, I deleted a bunch of stuff, and I really wanted to share some things that, you know, a lot of people say that my story helps them, and that's why I'm doing this, is I'm hoping that some of the stuff I'm going through could bring hope and help to others, and maybe give some wisdom, and also give some things that I'm learning in this journey as things aren't going perfect, and how I go about, like, how I've tried to go about getting back on track with what I feel like God is saying and what He's doing in my life and such. Excuse me. So, you know, last year, and I'm just going to share some really real things this time. And I try to always be really real, but, you know, we're going to be real. So really even more real. So anyways, you know, last year at this time, a year ago, I came into the new year, and if anyone has been following my story and watched my videos at that time, what God was doing in my life at the end of last year was just incredible. Excuse me. I got a cough, so normally that would keep me from making a video, but I'm just going to persevere. But you know, that year, I had, you know, got my own business office, my own place, it was my own baby. I bought my mentor's business and had her paid off by the end of the year, which was huge for me. Several things were happening. I had a vision from God. I don't know if you guys remember me sharing something about like walking down this path. I was worshiping, and I had this vision of me walking down this path with fire on each side, but it was like the glory fire, and it was gold, and God was saying, I'm writing my story on your heart and in your life, and it's going to be a testimony to others. And then the day of New Year's Eve a year ago, I was praying. I had some time to myself, and I was praying, and God gave me this vision. I don't even know if I shared this on the videos, but God gave me this vision of me being like a princess in a turret in a castle, like one of those round things, like high up. And He said that I had been like a princess, just put away, kind of hidden away, where no one really saw. And that He said that He was bringing me out of the turret onto the battlefield, and He was making me a warrior, like a princess warrior. And I was just like, went into the new year like, yeah, you know, like I remember even the New Year's party my friend Jody and Daniel were throwing. I showed up, and I was just like, I like to sometimes dress the way I'm feeling, and I'm like, just had this like word about being a princess warrior. And so I had my motorcycle jacket on, and these like this like froofy black skirt and black leather leggings. I mean, like I was feeling the warrior vibes, you know, and like, you know, it almost had like a romantic feel about it, in the sense of like a Joan of Arc type thing. And you know, so like I went into this a year ago, last year, feeling like really confident and excited to see what God was going to do and what he meant by these words he was giving me. And you know, I was believing God for a house, because I'd been kind of in a house sitting situation, and you know, halfway, you know, third of the way through the year, God provided this amazing place that I've shared on other videos of just something that was just like exactly what me and my kids needed, and so a place that we have just loved. And so and then as the year has gone by, there's been some challenges that have come. It seems like there's always like a little undercurrent of some challenges, but some that seem to get a little bigger. For instance, just being real honest here. So, you know, you guys know I've gone through a divorce, and we had a fair amount of debt. And the way I'm just sharing this to be of help of someone else who might be going through a situation like this. But in the divorce, the judge had divvied up where the kid's dad got most of the equity of the house, like the family home that we had, but he also gave him all the debt. So it like balanced itself out. Well, the problem is that by law, even if you go through any sort of court judgment type thing and someone else is given the debt, if your name is on it, by law, they're going to come after you, even though it was assigned to someone else. And so as this year has gone by, little by little, some of those debtors that had my name on it have come after me, including we had a family vehicle as a Yukon. So, you know, not a super cheap vehicle. And, you know, the kid's dad had wanted it in the divorce, and the judge gave it to him, but my name was on it. It was in my name. Well, he let the vehicle get repossessed. And so those people are coming after me. I have 2 credit cards that are coming after me and wanting to sue me. And the problem is, though the house was sold, those debts weren't taken care of, and so they're coming after me. So like that's kind of some big stuff, you know, it's having to do with like legal stuff, attorneys, court stuff, like all sorts of realms that I don't have much knowledge about. So, you know, that's like some underlying current. The second thing is, you know, towards the end of this past year, just like maybe 3 weeks ago or a month ago, I got news about a very sad, very terrible situation about the people who own this dreamy little farm home that me and my kids have been living in. We got word that the people who own it are going to need it back. And I'll just say this, the people who own this place are some of the most generous people I've ever met. They are the most wonderful people ever. I mean, they are such good people, and they've just found themselves in a situation that a very close family member is in need of the home. And, you know, if I was in their situation, I would make the same decision. Excuse me. But it still really hit hard, you know, when they told me the information, because me and the kids have so loved it, and we were so praying for a place to settle back in the spring. And so, you know, when I first got news of the information, I'll be quite frank, like I told God I felt like throwing myself on the ground like a 2-year-old and throwing a tantrum. Like I I was so upset by it, because I'm like, I prayed so hard about this place. Like when we moved in, I felt like I would walk around feeling like I could be here even till I'm 85. Like, I love being here. It's in the country. It's we just love it here. And of course, they could sell the house, and they're thinking about selling the house next year anyway. So or this year. So regardless, I was just like, it really hit hard, and I was really dreading telling the kids because they were so wanting to settle. We had moved so much in the last couple years, and so, it also felt, honestly, it felt like I was like a boxer in a ring, where I'd been like fighting these fights, and I'd seen a lot of victories but taken a lot of hits, and it's like I was just feeling tired, and I felt like I had won some of these fights, and then but I'm tired, and here comes like a fresh new fighter, and I'm like, I'm just telling God, I'm like, I don't know if I have it in me. Like, I so prayed for this house, and now like we're gonna have to move, and like putting myself out there again, like packing all the time and effort and money to move again and go through the upheaval process of, and it's a place that like I want to stay for a while, and to me there's so much involved in a house, like where you live, like who your neighbors are going to be, and all this stuff. And so like it's taken me a while to get to the place where I needed to be. I remember I've talked to my mom, and I have 2 different cups of 2 different things depending on how scratchy my throat feels at the moment. Anyways, I was telling my mom, like, man, I just don't have a very good attitude. Like, I'm discouraged. I'm sad. I was devastated at the beginning. And so knowing that I needed to get myself out of that place and believe God. And, sometimes like stuff can hit us and we can feel upset, and we need to come to a new place of, excuse me, of faith again. Sometimes we look at life and we're like, if we can just get through this, if we can just get through this test or trial and get our life back to normal. The thing is, our life it's all about the journey. It's not about some end-all thing at the very end. It's about the journey and how we live our life in the journey, and how we choose to overcome obstacles, and how we choose to believe God, and how we choose to love those around us when it is hard. And so, I'm like, to get to the place where I need to be, like, there needs to be something happen. And I remember, like, I've been praying and just kind of discouraged prayers, like God, please do something, like just please have grace and mercy on us. And last Wednesday I was in church, and it was a really good service, and they were talking about breakthrough and personal breakthrough, and I knew something happened in me. I knew something happened in my spirit that night. And when I woke up, I'd run out of storage. I had to delete some more stuff. But basically, I woke up that next morning, and I just knew something was different. I knew it the night before, and I woke up the next morning, and it was just all the things. Sometimes we don't know what we need to do to bring a breakthrough. We may need to fast. We may need to just pray it through. We may need others to pray for us. But whatever when we know we're in this place, I feel like the battle is getting, probably a good chunk of the battle is just getting your mind and your spirit in the place where it needs to be. And so it's like the next morning, I was meeting with my friend Kenna to just kind of catch up and pray together. And it's like all the things that God had spoken to me before just came rushing back. It was just like, He is faithful. the things that he spoke to me before is still in play. And he even reminded me that wonderful picture of me coming onto the battlefield and feeling like this like Joan of Arc type thing, and was, you know, he was like, I felt like God was saying, that's where you are right now. You're on the battlefield. And the battlefield isn't a pretty place. It's not a fun place. It's not a place of glory in the moment. It's like, you know, when you think of like the young men going off to battle and they're strong and they're in their uniforms, and there's something that's just like the protector of the country, and women too, you know, but I'm thinking like kind of a more like the vintage pictures of them going off to war, you know, because today the camo is not that fancy looking. But, you know, when you think of like some of the older pictures of men going off to war, and just like the feeling of them being heroes and protectors of our country and all of this, and it's like that is what it looks like at the beginning. But, you know, it's like on the battlefield, they're in the trenches and their best friend gets killed by an arrow or by a bomb, and they might have a leg blown off, and like there's blood and gore, and it's hard, and they starve, and they're cold or they're hot, and people are dying from infection, and it's like the battleground is hard. And I felt like God was saying, was like, daughter, you're still walking the path. You're still in it. And it's just the battleground, being a warrior, looks different than what you thought it would look like. And of course, like if I think about it, like of course that makes sense. But like when I'm in it, I was like, I've been like, man, this is hard. Like, am I missing something? I don't like it. This is difficult. You know, it's not, I feel like I've been in the battle in other ways in the past. But I'd say it felt like it was more of a battle, internal battle, a battle of my mind and different things. That's another story. But this is just a very different feel. And so, you know, God was just bringing up the different things about what he's spoken about, how he has cared for me since the beginning, like it says in Isaiah, and he will care for me. He will be my God till my hair is white with age. And, you know, all the things about like, even the scripture, Psalms 23, that like everyone knows, even non-Christians know it, you know, but the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. You know, he prepares a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You know, goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. He is that God. He is Jehovah Jireh, my provider. And it's like, while I was looking at this, like, I don't understand why I prayed for a house to settle into, that me and the kids could just be somewhere for a very long time. I don't know why. Because God knows the future. He knew this was going to happen. So I don't know why things have turned like this, but I do know that there's something in it that we need to learn. It's another opportunity for me to put my faith out there and to believe God for him to do something again. And I'll just say this, as I'm believing and as I'm praying, I'm actually praying for some other things. Not just a place, because I need it to be a good deal. You know, some people are like, oh, why is it that it's a big deal to move? But you know, I need it to be a good deal because like I am a single mom with kids and, you know, doing it on my own. And so I need it to be a good deal. You know, and if I have to settle, with something boring, I will, but preferably, it'd be nice to have a little character in the house if I'm going to live there for a long time. So, but I'm also going to pray that it's in Ozark because my office is in Ozark. I own my own business, a massage business that's in Ozark. I go to church in Ozark. There's just a lot of things there. So I'm believing for that. we'll see how it all works out. But I'm believing for good things. And, as I was reading in the Word about faith and Hebrews 11, and for those of us who are familiar, it's like there are so many people of faith in the Bible that had to reach out for belief for lots bigger things than what I am. And they were faithful, and they pressed on. And so, though I'd rather not move in the middle of February, I am believing that God has something good in store. And I just encourage you, even if you're going through hardships right now, even if the beginning of this year started off like a bomb or like, not as exciting as you would hope, not as full of hope as we would all like to start a new year with. Just know that God is a good God. To press in, see what God is saying for your life. Remember that it's about the journey. It's a walk of faith, and that He's good and He's faithful, and He will show Himself to us when we seek Him. So anyways, I'm believing for good things, and I just encourage you to believe for good things too. And thanks. I appreciate your guys' comments and the messages you guys send me and listen to this stuff. I really appreciate it a lot. I wish you guys the best. Love you all.